Hello, we are here again for the next interview of our series on the 10th anniversary of the German Center for Research and Innovation in São Paulo, DWIH as we spell our acronym in German. This time we will talk with Professor Stefan Laufer, Director of the Center of Brazil and Latin America of Baden-Württemberg at the University of Tübingen. Hi, Stefan. The Brazilian Center has a long history on binational cooperation. How did it start? How has it developed? And what has distinguished the output it has generated?
Everything of the Brazil Center started with a state agreement between the country of Baden-Württemberg and the most south part of Brazil, Rio Grande do Sul. You know that we established there a research station, the Araucaria Research Station called Promata at the coastal rainforest. And we developed a lot of research cooperations initially with the PUC at Porto Alegre, with the federal universities of Porto Alegre, and also with the Federal University in Santa Maria do Sul. This was our initial start more than 20 years ago, 22 years ago. We are now 22 years old. And during that time, a lot of research established, but also our excursions in which we brought many German students to Brazil.
So the Brazilian Center of Baden-Württemberg is the longest standing associated supporter of DWIH São Paulo. You joined DWIH in December 2014 when we created this kind of stakeholder. What does it mean to be part of our German Center in Brazil?
You know, for us, the motivation was to be present in Brazil. And not only as before, we were present in South Brazil, but to be present in whole Brazil. We want to show flag and we want to become a member of the community, sharing both the spirit and also the mission of the DWIH.
Since 2010, the Brazil Center at the University of Tübingen, this nice city behind you, has taken part in the annual meeting of the Brazilian Society for the Advancement of Science, SBPC, as a member of the German delegation headed by DWIH. What is the value of participating in the Brazilian meeting?
Look, you know, the value is representing our state Baden-Württemberg, in the Brazilian academic teaching environment. To promote research made in Germany, in Brazil, and making the Brazilian society aware of the academic opportunities in Germany, and to make some kind of image campaign rather than concrete projects, which we do together with you more often.
Another interface between DWIH and your Brazil Center is the German-Brazilian Symposium on Sustainable Development, which is held every 2 years, alternately in Brazil and Germany. This year, the initiative celebrates the 10th edition. What is the contribution of this initiative to bilateral scientific cooperation?
Okay, you know, the major contribution is the fact that this is the only dedicated Brazilian-German symposium in whole Brazil. There is no other dedicated symposium just to bring these two nations together in terms of science. We have even a longer lasting history than the 10th anniversary. It's longer than the 20 years because there was a precursor symposium from Professor Bayer from Tübingen University and Professor Damasceno from the UFI on the chemistry of waste treatment. And the major issue is bringing the research community together and keeping old contacts, long-lasting contacts, but also making new ones.
Let us also talk about DWIH. As director of an associated supporter in a long-distance relationship, most of the time, how do you see the evolution of the work of the German Center in São Paulo?
Yeah, you know, initially for us, I think it was a political issue. In the beginning, you showed political presence, and this was more important than distinguished projects. But now the DWIH is somewhat the German academic embassy in Brazil, and the first point to contact for details, for questions in all fields of science and education.
What does the German Center offer the scientific communities in Germany and Brazil?
Okay, this is a very easy to answer question, but also a very important one. You offer a network, and this is contact, contact, contacts, contacts. And this is the most important thing for an embassy, to make contacts and to establish a reliable network.
So at the very beginning of the pandemic, you were one of the researchers who conducted binational collaborative research with Brazilian partners on the new coronavirus and COVID-19. From an international perspective, what contributions has Brazilian science given to the understanding of the virus and the disease, as well as to fighting the pandemic?
The first and the main contribution of Brazilian scientists was information on genetic of the virus. And not only the genetic information, but also bioinformatic analysis of genetic variations and mutations. This was the initial contribution of the Brazilian scientists, and also the development of low cost and easy test systems. And now, from this base, new treatment options and new systems to treat COVID patients is evolving. And in this direction, we go now as well.
Changing the topic, so you are also a correspondent member of the Brazilian Academy of Science, ABC. What does that mean? Who can be a correspondent member?
You are just then member of the family, of an important family, the research community of Brazil, which is a big research community. And it's a real honor for me to be part of this family.
The Brazil Center will become a Latin America Center. Why this change? New goals?
In fact, not too much is changing. So we will keep our focus on Brazil for sure. We have established now over 22 years quite strong formats. And what we want to do is just exporting these established and validated formats of collaboration to more countries. So for Brazil, nothing will change, but we will offer some more countries in Latin America, mainly research-based universities, not too much teaching, really based on research, because we are an excellence university and we want to focus here on research, to other top universities outside Brazil, but in South America. For Brazil as such, almost nothing will change.
I wish you a successful story with this broadening process now to Latin America. So, and we end here our interview today, and I invite you to follow us on YouTube, where you can find our other interviews of this series to our 10 years DWIH.